when I was in seminary, I really enjoyed a particular theology class. And I said to my roommate, Randy, this is really a good class. And he said, yeah, it is, but not as good as the class I had on at Multnomah on the same subject. I said, what? He said, there was a man called Dave Needham. I was at Multnomah for 1 year, and he taught the theology of God, and nothing else has ever matched it. Well, you could see that when it was time to sign up for classes. The registrar had a horrible problem because every student wanted into Dave Needham's section, and they would do anything devious to get in there. It was a huge problem. People would take jobs that they didn't want because they conflicted with the other sections. So they could honestly say to Joyce Kehoe, I have a conflict with my job. I can only take Dave Needham. And then, of course, as soon as they got in the section, they decided to quit their job, and everything they needed was in place. And he had that kind of draw. I remember getting speaking engagements, which I love to do. And one of my favorite lines was somebody would call me up that didn't know me, and they would say, we want you to speak for this retreat. And my favorite line was, Dave Needham turned you down, did he? And they would say, how did you know that? Just a stab in the dark, just a guess. If Dave Needham couldn't do it, then they had to go to the second string. But he was the one that they wanted. We created classic sections that only he taught, and then had a classic prof category that he was the first one that got special privileges and a way of saying we so much appreciate what you are doing, and we want you to be here for a lifetime. Every student in theology gets theology proper. They get a list of all the great characteristics of God. And it was different in Needham's class. When you heard him, it was hard to describe, but this is my best shot at it. He didn't just define the attributes of God. He took you into the Holy of Holies and showed you the great and holy God. You could hear the cherubim, holy, holy, holy. You could see the glory. You could feel it in his voice and in his excitement. And sometimes he would be yelling, and people in the hall could hear it, but people in the room didn't think about that. They had quit seeing the prof in the front, and their eyes went up, and they saw nothing but Jesus and God high and lifted up. Thank you, Lord, for giving us Dave Needham at Multnomah Bible College.